I'm glad that we were able to do what we've done for as long as we have, bring so much happiness and catharsis and a sense of togetherness,
Yeah.
or letting people kind of feel a little less isolated in whatever they're going through.
I am
Mm.
beyond thrilled to welcome tonight's special guest to the show. You know him as the voice behind Alice in Chains for the last 20 years, but he stays busy with a number of other projects too. And tonight we are talking about his latest, the brand new song from the supergroup Metal Allegiance. William DuVall, thank you so much for hanging tonight, man.
Oh, right on. Thanks for having me on.
Listen, we could spend a couple hours talking about everything you're working on, but tonight we're celebrating this new song from Metal Allegiance. It's called Black Horizon, and
Yeah.
it's absolutely crushing track. And
Oh, cool.
you sound so good on it next to Alex Skolnick and Mark Mingy and Mike Portnoy.
Yeah.
Uh, how's it feel to have this song finished and ready for everyone to hear?
Good. You know, it's it's one of those things that kind of came out of the blue for me. I was, you know, I just sort of got this call, and it was a pleasant surprise. Would you like to do this tune with us? And so they sent the music, and I really dug it. And then the challenge became what to say over this. It's
Yeah,
like, um, that's one of those pieces of music that's it's got a lot of shifts in mood and tone and pacing and all of that. And so it kind of brought me back a little bit to the GTO days, Draft Tongue Orchestra and that kind of
yeah.
the music where it's just like, oh my goodness, like, okay, I'm gonna have to sit down with this. But it was it was interesting that the title came to me almost instantly, and then the concept of that lyric, like the narrative thread of that lyric, the kind of direction came
Yeah.
instantly. Um, so from there, it was just kind of fleshing it out, and trying to figure out like um, each section and kind of making it just trying to maximize each section, you know. So that took a minute. The initial idea came rather quickly, but then fleshing it out took a little bit of time. But I'm really pleased with the outcome. So hope
How long
people.
how often do you get like completely finished songs and then you just put lyrics on top or and vocals? Or is it more like you're kind of part of the process? I have to imagine like writing the lyrics, figuring out that concept is different when the music's given to you as opposed to kind of being part of that creation.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, that music was done and that track was done. You know, I got sent that track in its fully realized form musically. Um, and I mean the difference, I suppose, either way, whether I'm writing the music or whether I'm receiving music, um, it's kind of it's similar in that I'm just reacting to it, you know. Um, when I'm writing the whole thing start to finish, or when I'm in a process collaborating with another person or other people on the music, it's hard to explain how it's different. I mean, by myself, sometimes a lot of the best songs come fully formed in my mind. So it's like a record playing.
Yeah.
It's already done. I just have to make it, you know. Um, and so in that way, it feels more like a proactive thing. But when I'm receiving music, or perhaps even when I'm in collaboration with other people on the music, and then I'm going to write to that, that feels a little bit more reactive, I guess. If
Yeah.
I don't, it's again hard to put too fine a point on this stuff, but
Yeah.
it's a fine difference, it's a fine distinction. Um, you know, Uh, but yeah, again, with something like this, it was more of a reactive thing of like, okay, how is this making me feel, man? Like, sometimes on my own, it's like that too. Like sometimes a piece of music will come first, and I might not have anything for it for a while. So in that case, it turns into more of a reactive thing. And in those cases, also, I almost try to detach myself from it as much as possible, as if I was being sent that piece of music from someone else, you know? So yeah, there's really no rules, man. It's all over the place.
I love that, man. And the regardless of that process or how different it is, the end result is awesome. And like I said, I think this song is just it's a crusher, and it's got a lot of different kind of layers to it, and your lyrics, your vocals all over it, man. It sounds great. Um, Now, were you I have to imagine, like, throughout your career, throughout your time in rock and roll, have you been friends with some of these guys in Metal Allegiance?
I've never met them face to face. Maybe Mark I've run into, like, but I mean, as a general thing, like, no, it's not like I was buddies with Alex Skolnick and and Portnoy and um that's why again I was surprised when I got this call. Um but I suppose now we will be friends.
Yeah, I think so, man. I
But
think
this
so.
song, this song, this song has built a bridge.
Well, and it's a big deal too because it marks the band's first new music in 8 years, and so it's awesome that you're part of it. And it might be too early to tell. Is this it for you with them now, or do you think there might be more on the horizon with Metal Allegiance?
I don't know, no idea really. I'm just
Right
glad we
on.
got this one done, and like you
Yeah.
said, it's the first new music from that collective in quite a while. So yeah, that part's a huge honor to just to um this bit of a milestone, I guess, for that whole thing. So that's really cool.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, you're at a place in your career where you could easily just focus on Alice in Chains and nothing else. But I love how involved you are in other things, and you've been part of some really cool things too with amazing artists. But I'm curious, is there a collaboration out there or an artist that you'd love to work with that you haven't had a chance to yet?
Oh gosh.
It seems like
Yeah.
you're pretty open to
Yeah,
different
yeah,
opportunities.
yeah. I have been, and I think that's been really good for me to have adopted a more of a stance of say yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Things come out of the blue, and there was a time when maybe I would have been a little more, there would have been more trepidation about saying yes to certain things. But last few years, it's been more of a say yes mentality. And I think that is more, it serves me better, I think, because even if something looks like uh, it's coming out of the blue, or it might be a thing like, I don't know, like, or it somehow makes you feel like a little bit uh, uncomfortable or something. I kind of think that's the place to be. You know what I
mm,
mean? Um, so yeah, I mean, I'd be open to all kinds of stuff, I guess. I mean, uh, I like producing records a lot, and
yeah.
so in that capacity, there's probably a lot of people out there that or like I'd be open to working with, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whether that opportunity would ever come about or not, but and that would include all genres too, you know.
yeah,
Uh, I don't want to name drop, but I mean, suffice to say there's people in everything from country music to jazz to rock and roll that I think would be really cool to, you know, chop it up with and see what happens, you
yeah.
know.
I love that, man. Well, I do want to talk about one band you've produced, but first I just got to say, because we were, talking about the 8 years since Metal Allegiance has released new music. Uh, it's been 8 years since Alice in Chains has released their latest album, 2026. It'll be 8 years. You've obviously stayed busy over the years touring, but is there any sort of hint at anything on the horizon for them? You're already laughing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll just have to see,
Yeah.
we'll get together at some point, I'm sure, and see what's going on.
Well, this year, I mentioned at the start, but 20 years with Alice in Chains. This year is the 20th anniversary of you taking that gig, and it's been amazing. I've had the chance to see you guys live and many times, and it's just it's so much fun. What runs through your head when you think about doing that for 2 decades?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a bit of time, isn't it? I mean, it's like
Yeah,
wow. I mean, in some ways it seems like it's been, a few months, and in other ways it seems like it's been 40 years. You know, time
yeah,
time is strange like that.
yeah,
I mean, it's like 2 minutes, and then it's also five lifetimes, and I don't really know how to reconcile that. Uh, I'm glad that we were able to do what we've done for as long as we have, um, and make so many people happy. Um, I mean, it might sound corny or tried to say, but that's actually something I don't take lightly at all. Like that we've been able to go around and bring so much happiness and catharsis and you know maybe a sense of togetherness,
yeah,
or letting people kind of feel a little less isolated in whatever they're going through. That's a huge honor to me that we've been able to do that for this long. Um, you know, I'm glad it's worked out. I mean, it's a crazy thing, man. I mean, the bands are crazy, the music business is crazy. Like, I mean, it's almost a miracle that anybody ever gets anything done, really. We've been able to, we've been able to, you know, kind of keep it moving, and
yeah,
that's a great thing. That's a really, really great thing. And I suppose in some ways, we'll be kind of processing this whole thing for the rest of our lives. I mean, because it's been just so, it's been crazy, man.
yeah,
Like um, the tall order that it was, the fact that we filled it or had the gumption to say we were going to fill it. I mean, it's sort of, you know, but yeah, here we are. So
yeah,
I'm glad about it. I really am. I'm glad everybody's still here. I'm glad you know, I'm glad the folks have stuck with us.
yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. Well, and I want to say too, I was lucky enough to be at Back to the Beginning last year, and
Oh, yeah.
it was such a special day for, a million reasons, obviously. And I love seeing Alice in Chains on that stage paying tribute to Ozzy and Sabbath. And I thought you guys nailed Fairies Wear Boots. I know it's been a minute since that show, but what was that like for you, man, to be on that stage?
An amazing, unique experience that I know we're never gonna see anything like that again. Um, because of it brought together so many different um eras, I guess, onto one stage for one reason. And so that was just, and the fact that you had so many bands there that are so used to kind of controlling our own environments,
Yeah.
um, you know, and yet there wasn't one flash of that kind of, showboating or ego kind of backstage power play stuff. Like we were all just fans. And I just think like again that to bring together that many um bands, and musicians from such a long time span. I mean, the if you look at, you know, Black Sabbath from the 60s to somebody like, Youngblood or something. I mean, that's
Yeah.
like a 55, 60 year time span of, you know, and and then you look at just the whole environment that brought forth those eras of music that we all grew up on, like the whole 60s into the early 70s thing. That's just a watershed. So the fact that a lot of the artists that came to prominence during that time, that they're starting to, you know, pass on,
Yeah.
it's just hard to imagine anything really taking the place of that. All of the conditions in society and you know what I mean, like really macro stuff, even outside of music, that made the Beatles and Jimi Hendrix and Black Sabbath and the Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin and the Who and on, that made all that happen. And all the things happening in America, Motown and all of the great jazz that was happening and
Yeah.
train. It just was a watershed moment. And so it's like we're all coming to terms with just the transient nature of this whole existence. You know what I mean? And it's such a scary thing, and then it's such a beautiful thing too. But I can say that up there on the raised platform on the side of the stage, um, watching watching the original four Black Sabbath for the last time, and I'm standing there side by side with like James Hetfield and then Maynard to the right of me and Phil Anselmo's over here, and we're all just crowded together up there, you know, screaming like we're, 12, 13 years old,
Yeah.
at a gig, at our first gigs.
Yeah.
There's not many circumstances that's gonna bring that out of us, out of people who've been doing this for so long. It's just a phenomenal event. And of course, we could not have possibly known how soon it would be for Ozzy to leave, but what an amazing way to go out, you
Yeah.
know?
It's the only way Ozzy could do it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even true, exactly. It felt like that when he was on the stage too. It really did. It felt like I don't know how this guy is going to just go quietly into the pasture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really didn't see. I mean, I was watching the urgency of him struggling to stay in that chair and really trying to get up out of it. And he couldn't. And and you saw the struggle, you saw the ferocity, you saw all of that stuff. It was like, yeah, I don't know how this guy's going to just retire quietly to the countryside and just, you know, um, some people they're made for that, and that's great, but he just I it was hard to imagine. So in some ways, when he did leave, it was sort of like, well, as as shocking as it was sort of like, well, but I was wondering how that was going to work out with just I'm going to hang out here and just what I mean, like
Yeah.
knowing that because when you do it over the years, right? You have periods where you're not working, you have periods where you work. I mean, he worked a lot, but when you're not working, you're going to be working. There's another tour coming.
Right.
Sharon's phone. There's stuff happening, and the next 2 years are going to be booked out. But when you don't have that in front of you anymore, after freaking 60 years of having that in front of you, But anyway, not to get too sidetracked. I mean, I don't even remember our time on stage too much. I remember all the stuff that was happening around the whole thing. I remember all the stuff like, you know, backstage more.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, tremendous. I'm just so happy we could do it.
Yeah. Well, and I love you saying too no showboating, no egos. I mean, because all these bands are headliners, used to playing full sets and everybody's playing three songs and you got a 7 minute turnover on stage. And I'll say, I was in the pit and the exact same feeling. Like nobody stood on stage and was like, I'm the biggest Ozzy fan. Everybody was there paying tribute. It was like just such a weirdly level playing ground, all for Ozzy and Sabbath. And it was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. And that shout out to all the technicians who ran that show. That show
That's
ran
right.
like, that's one of the only shows of, I mean, anything, award show or anything on television or anything, any festival, like that is one of the tightest shows I've ever been a part of. It actually ran a little bit early.
Yeah.
All those bands, all those setups, all that craziness, and then those guys had that thing running a little bit ahead. Incredible, incredible.
Yeah, it was amazing, man. All right, well, listen, last question. Last time you joined us, it was a couple months before Back to the Beginning, and we were celebrating another band that you're tied to, Chain Saint,
Mhm.
who released a new live EP near the end of 2026. And you had told us that you loved producing their debut, and you're in it for the long haul with them. Have you guys been working on new music?
You know,
That's all my questions, man. New music, new music.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's cool though, yeah, we'll see. I think at some point sooner than later, it'll be time for us to get together again and see where
Cool.
they are. They're in that early stage blooming phase. They're really trying to learn how to do this, how to be a band, how to deliver under pressure, how to be songwriters, how to be professionals on stage. Like it's great to see, but this is a rapid growth period. So yeah, I'm excited to, we'll get together, we'll see what they have, we'll knock it around, but yeah, it's been a great thing watching those guys do what they've done since the album came out and since the single
Yeah,
Thousands came out last year, and now this live EP you mentioned at the Whiskey. I mean,
which
how
is
cool is
awesome.
that? Like they're doing it, man. They're doing the thing. They're going to be on the gig in Anaheim too. Metal Allegiance. We're going to play that show in Anaheim in a couple weeks, and they're on that gig. So yeah, man. I'm excited to get back with those guys and see what's going on. See what we can do. You know,
Right on, man. Well, I've got about a million other questions, but I think we should call it. William DuVall, thank
dude.
you. Thank you so much for hanging tonight, man. Congrats on everything happening right now, and especially congrats on this new Metal Allegiance song, Black Horizon. Listeners, check it out at metalallegiance.com. We'll always keep you posted here on Loudwire too. But man, always a sincere privilege to get to share some time with you, and hopefully we
Thank
can
you.
do it again soon.
Thank you, Chuck. Always good to see you too, man. We'll talk
Awesome.
again. All right, brother.